I want to talk about investor advisory board and investor non-executive director opportunities. It is, in reality, one of the major ways that people can secure a board seat via investment in the company. So, in early stage, high potential companies through to quite substantial private enterprise, there's often an opportunity to invest and take a board seat in exchange for that investment, so you can oversee your investment. And there's often an opportunity to have some skin in the game to help grow a business, to help it be successful. Now, there are some in the business community who will poo-poo that idea and, will say, I don't want to buy a board seat. You're not really buying a board seat. There has to be a fit between all the parties for something to occur. Very rarely will entrepreneurs and business advisors and private equity firms take money from just anybody who wants a board seat. You've got to bring something of value to the table, whether that be a skill set and a network or expertise that would be valuable. And the trend in the market is definitely towards what we call smart capital. So people who might bring a modest checkbook to the table and make it a strategic investment in the organisation, and who want to see the business be successful, but they also bring other skills and talents to the table. Now, they may take a non-executive director appointment if it's a more substantial company, or if it's very early stage and the cash flow is not there and it's just sort of early days, they might take an advisory board seat and advise that business as it goes through Series A, Series B round capital raisings. It's a wonderful way to build out a board portfolio. Firstly, you're giving back in a very important business community. You're supporting entrepreneurs. You're often backing businesses that solve really complex business problems. And the thrill of seeing a business go on to great success is incredibly rewarding. And a small part of your capital obviously helped them get there. And it's a big part of how a lot of people build out a strategic board portfolio. So it should be considered. And if you have the capacity to invest and you enjoy working with early stage high potential companies, it should be on your radar as one of the options that you consider as you're building out a strategic board portfolio. Now, you might, as you sort of embark on this process, get a little bit sophisticated about how you approach things. You only want to invest what you can afford to lose. You also want to consider other variables on how these transactions are put together. So, there can be straight investment put into a company. There can be a loan provided to the company. So you can have something like a convertible note where, shares are exchanged for equity and capital. You could have different mechanisms whereby maybe you put in a small amount of money, but you have an option to put in more investment at a certain milestone. You could have a scenario where you're not paid anything initially. Maybe you're paid in shares or script, and eventually that converts into cash remuneration when the company hits certain milestones. So there's a lot of variables on how these deals can be structured, and you may also have your own personal philosophies on where you'd like to see things land. And I have my own sort of viewpoints on this. I've done quite a bit of angel investing over the years, and I've lost some money and sort of once bitten twice shy. So I have a sort of philosophy these days that I could always ramp an investment up, but it's not so easy to unwind it. I'm always on the lookout for an option to invest more because that's very attractive to me. It can give me a number of mechanisms on how I can negotiate my position on the company board. I do like to be hands-on, so I prefer advisory boards to non-executive directors appointments, because advisory means I've got sort of some visibility into what's going on in the business, but I don't necessarily have the stress and the heartache of worrying about the cash flow And, being a non-executive director, you've got to take that role very, very seriously, because insolvency is pretty common in early stage, high potential businesses. They go close to the wind just about every day. So, you've got to be constantly monitoring and have a massive high risk appetite to be a non-executive director. It's not impossible to do that sort of work, but I just don't personally have a lot of time to monitor it and to be really finger on the pulse, because I've got my own business entities to concentrate on. But I love doing advisory board work. I do not mind having skin in the game. I think that's part of the paradigm. I like to see businesses that have a really good chance of going through to Series A, B, C, partnering with the private equity venture capital partners. And when I initially put the funding in, I'm always confident that there's some proof of life. The business has something substantially built. They've got substantial IP. I've done a lot of due diligence on those aspects before I sort of write the check. And then, from there, I'm, as hands-on as I possibly can be, and I'm also part of the solution. So I'm often helping with capital raising, bringing additional capital into the business. So as a business executive, if you're thinking about establishing a board portfolio, consider investor advisory board, investor non-executive directorships. It can be a fabulous way to build out business networks, support early stage high potential businesses, forge relationships in PE and VC, and really sort of, give your board portfolio a boost. So consider it as an option the next time you're putting a board appointment into your portfolio.